not a particularly distinguished Kilkenny performance this afternoon, but they had character and they had the finishing of this match, and they took it by the scruff of the neck for the last 6 minutes or thereabouts. So it will be Offaly who will play in the first half from left to right. They will be wind assisted, and the only changes that you perhaps are concerned about will be the couple of others that they left in the two teams for this afternoon. Adrian Fenlon will play at midfield, the number 8, and Billy Dooley is going to play in the full forward line for Offaly. No great massive surprises there, I suppose. It's approaching 3:30. Referee just waiting to give the signal. It'll be Eldon Maximna who will be the referee once again. And the signal has now been given for our national anthem, Our Own Navian. I'm sure it's the biggest crowd of the day for a sports fixture here in Ireland at Croke Park. Round about 35,000 people for the two Guinness semi-finals, and now all concentration on this second one. Wexford the champions against Offaly the challengers, but strong challengers at that. The Leinster champions have a largely familiar look about them, but the loss of Liam Dunn with a leg fracture is hard to calculate, plus the loss of Rod Guiney. Larry O'Gorman is given another new championship assignment. He is centre-half back as the match gets underway. And Offaly, we'll just remind you of the starting lineup for them. They're bidding for their first championship win over Wexford in 3 years. They left a vacancy in the full forward line, and it's gone, as we told you a little while ago, to Billy Dooley. He's expected to play in the corner with John Troy playing at full forward. On with the action. It'll be a sideline ball. There's Billy Dooley. Billy has started at right corner forward. Brother Joe's gone across to top of the left. John Troy at full forward. Will he get the right kind of ball inside, which would be low in towards him and not high up in the air, which would favour full-back Chercush? It's Wexford. Rory McCarthy, annoyed with himself, had the chance to have put Wexford in front. One of the great stars, of course, in their championship-winning year just 2 years ago. But again, a reminder that the breeze is quite a strong one, and it's blowing down the field, and it is going to favour Offaly in the first half. Martin Storey, the Wexford captain. New goalkeeper up for Offaly is Stephen Byrne. Long puck out, down into the centre there. Robert Hassey here for Wexford, trying to link up with Adrian Fenlon. He's 65 metres out. Cross towards Tom Dempsey's corner. Should be an interesting battle over there between Martin Hanemy and Tom Dempsey. Two players have seen it all in the past. Towards Johnny Polkington, close to the far off sideline. And our two linesmen this afternoon, you've got Pat Delaney and Eamon Morris, and I noticed that Larry O'Gorman's gone down injured, man from Faith Harriers. Not a man to feign injuries. Dr. Stephen Bowe comes in to attend to him. Shawnee Flood there to the left. This is what happened here, if we can just follow the action. And just a clash there, and down he went. Little belt to the head, we believe, and he's okay. He's back at centre-half back. Adrian Fenlon is taking the cut. It's a good one, right in there. Goalkeeper does well, playing in his second championship match. Stephen Byrne from Kilcormac Killahee. The referee goes racing in there. Eldon Maximna taking charge of his fourth successive Wexford Offaly Leinster Championship match. Having a word with Paul Codd, who before the throw-in was out around midfield just to try and confuse the Wexford back, or the Offaly backs. So it's going to be a free from where the ball landed. It will be free there, which Brian Wheelahan will come up and take. Chance of getting the opening score of this game after 3 minutes. Referee reminding Robert Hassey to be back 20 metres. Here's a chance, 65 metres out, and it's straight between the posts. Offaly take the lead. So a point to the good, and it's Brian Wheelahan from Birr who gets the score. Damien Fitzhenry from Duffrey Rovers in Wexford, still remembered for that wonderful late save in the corresponding match last year against Billy Dooley. Getting good length into it, down towards Martin Storey against Brian Wheelahan. Who'll win that clash? That's Gary Hanafy. Again, it's Robert Haffey starting strongly in midfield towards Tom Dempsey. Missed completely by Eugene Furlong. Still some pressure down there. Ori McCarthy. Storey sprinting after this one. And the shot from Storey is gone just inside the left-hand post, and the sides are level. A really good start by the team captain from Olaf the Bala. First point from play. Wexford were causing problems for the Offaly defence when the clearance came out as far as Martin Storey. He sprinted for it and made sure it was decisive. Again, pressure over there on Colm Keogh and his defenders. Keogh getting it this time. Back to Ger Cush. Forms a very solid-looking full back line for Wexford. The protests are by Michael Duignan, all in vain because the referee has made his decision. The referee explains to him. With a dangerous chop, and it's going to be a free which goalkeeper Damien Fitzhenry will take. Using the stick with a very wide boss to get extra distance into his puck towards Paul Codd. Batted away there before he could reach him by Colm Cassidy. Cassidy following up after this one. Played in the corresponding match last year, beating Mitch Jordan. Nicely inside there towards John Troy. Clever operator. Billy Dooley trying to get away from Ger Cush to get space. Gets enough space to swing the stick and put it between the posts. That is a lovely point. Billy Dooley's first. Part of a very influential family that have done some wonderful work for Offaly hurling all through this decade. This was Billy, very much an individual score from the time it was laid off by John Troy. And Wexford have the lead. Or rather, Offaly have the lead. Back there is Gary Hanafy. Edwin Fenlon trying to put Wexford on terms again. Hubert Wigney settling into his new role at full back this afternoon. That's taken down cleverly there. Hassey. Back from Adrian Fenlon. Right into the corner there. A few problems once again for the Offaly backline. Rory McCarthy trying to make some headway in towards the end line, seeking out some assistance. Larry Murphy is there. Larry, the familiar style, coming through, and it's stopped by the stick of the goalkeeper, and it's gone over the bar. Great work by Larry Murphy, but he'll take the credit, and not a bad stop at all by Stephen Byrne, but in the end, fortunate to see it tapped over his crossbar. The right individual score by Larry Murphy. Stephen Byrne pucking it out. No time for delay in this particular match. That's dropped down there by Larry O'Gorman. Johnny Dooley and Billy Dooley, his brother, in there, but Billy is the one who hit it last. Well, the Offaly side again this year, with Rory Kinsley here as manager of Wexford, of course, but the Offaly side I was just talking about moments ago there, they are well backed up by the Dooleys and by the Wheelahans. Barry at right corner back, playing in just his second championship match. That's Martin Storey, trying to break it down to somebody. Been marked this afternoon by Brian Wheelahan. That's Gary Hanafy. Towards John Troy. Batted away there on the ground by Ger Cush. Michael Duignan trying to get it up onto the stick. Scooped back by Mark Hand. Johnny Pilkington, blocked there. Very good work by Robert Hussey. Back in by Kevin Martin. Not a good clearance, however. Rory McCarthy again, firing it in low towards Murphy on the ground. He loses it to Hubert Rigney, and Larry Murphy beaten for that one. Rigney with a good clearance out of defence. Going there and being secure is Eugene Furlong from Glyn Barnton in Wexford towards McCarthy. Runs beyond Colin Cassidy. A real stalemate situation, and in the end it's going to be a sideline puck favouring Wexford. Last man to pick himself up there is Paul Codd, one of the stars of Wexford's recent success, last year's success in Leinster at under-21 level. Didn't have the best of times, however, in the All-Ireland semi-final that followed down in Dungarvan. So early stages of this match. Two sides who know one another so terribly well. Adrian Fenlon, sufficiently recovered from injury to play in this game. Putting it in there towards Larry Murphy. Back it comes towards Codd, firing on it first time, but misdirecting his shot, and that's the second wide for Wexford. There's selector Pat Maloney there, one of the selectors in charge of the side, along with Paul Mulhare, and of course also with Offaly this year you've got the very colourful figure of Babs Keating. Colm Keogh, as usual, so tidy and effective in his defensive duties for Wexford. Not the longest of clearance, with Fenlon looking sharp in midfield, whipping it way down. Tom Dempsey's after it. Hubert Rigney has committed himself. Hubert comes out. He leaves a man inside who's Larry Murphy to try to cover that gap. It's Tom Dempsey. Oh, should have been something after all of that. Well, had he played the ball inside towards Larry Murphy, instinctively, there was a man unmarked. It was Murphy. Martin Hannamy did try to get back to cover the full forward there. You could see him standing virtually unmarked. Stephen Burns puck out towards Mark Hand. Very good play as always by Larry O'Gorman. He's gone down injured. Gone into a stern blow, it seems. Larry, who's played everywhere and anywhere in the Wexford colours, used to play at left half back. He was a brilliant wing back. Then they moved him into midfield. I think he had a spell in the forwards, and now centre half back for Liam Dunn, and he just collided there with an elbow. And Mark Hand, the player involved from Kilcormac Killahee, it's a very good club producing such wonderful underage players down in Offaly. That's fired in towards Larry Murphy again. This time Kevin Martin tries to beat it out. Hubert Rigney trying to get it out as well, and the referee's in there. And he may want to call aside one of the backs. Larry Murphy feeling the effects of the injury. Hubert Rigney, the Offaly team captain, is called over, and a note of his name is taken by referee Eildon Macsivna, and he becomes the first player to have his name taken. This is what happened. A dangerous pull there across Larry Murphy. Larry went hopping out of the game. Ball wasn't there, and when Hubert pulled. So it's going to be a free in for Wexford. And a chance for Wexford to take the lead once again as Larry Murphy limps away, needing a bit of attention. And they'll hope to get him back into action as quickly as possible. Paul Codd, the taker of the free, and Paul Codd has put it over the bar. Young player from Rathnewer converting his first free of the day, and Wexford lead by 3 points to 2. So far, a tight, tough, physical battle. That's one back there by Michael Dignan for Offaly. The hand pass into space. Johnny Pilkington had kept moving forward. Look at the target. He's a wonderful player, Pilkington. Johnny from Burr called on to produce the excellence time after time in the championship, and the sides are level for the third time this afternoon. Well, what a record he has. Even when Offaly lose major matches, somehow he produces usually performances of great quality. Sides meeting here in the championship for the 5th year in a row, and it's 2 wins for Offaly, 2 wins for Wexford in the last 4. This, incidentally, the 25th time that Offaly and Wexford are meeting in the Leinster Championship. Can there deemed to have been fouling Larry O'Gorman trying to gain a very unfair advantage. Elon Maxime decides. So Larry himself will take the free. Looking down at the target. Opting to lob it towards Paul Codd. Can he get the measure there of Barry Wheelahan? Larry Murphy kicking that one off the defender, and it's gone for the first 65 of the afternoon. Well, Larry happily is recovered from injury. Hubert Rigney has had his name taken. And the 65 will be taken by Larry O'Gorman, getting plenty of advice. Rory Kinsella is right alongside him there. There he is. Rory, the man who took on the responsibility after Liam Griffin stood down. So, Paul Codd coming out to take this, giving Larry O'Gorman a breather. He's been taking them all season during the league in any case. And that's going away to the left. He was hitting into the wind. 4 wide so far then for Wexford. Down on the sideline this afternoon, our reporter is Kieran Malooly. Kieran.
Bab Keating has been talking for the last few moments to Michael Dignan and to Joe Dooley. He's asking them to go much further out to the sidelines. They're clogging up the middle far too much. That's the message from the management at the moment.
Well, let's see what happens then in the next few attacks that come Offaly's way. It's a tight match. Michael Dignan coming onto it here. He's up against Declan Root this afternoon. Declan playing in his championship debut. That's Gary Hanafy, such a superb success with Burren, the club champion during the winter. Shawnee Flood kicking it out, but only there as far as Kevin Martin for Offaly. In towards John Troy, ready to take Jerkush this way and that, but Jer not prepared to be taken to the cleaners, and he belts it downfield. Wexford trying to gain an edge there. Robert Hassey. That's played forward there by Martin Storey. Mitch Jordan is calling for it inside. Larry Murphy has it. Larry going for the point himself. Jordan, I can tell you, out of shot, had made a very good run forward, but I think Larry was doing the right thing in at least trying to go and hit the target. In pensive mood on this sunny afternoon is Michael Babs-Keating, the former Tipperary Star player and manager. And that's gone straight over the sideline. Who's operating the line over there. And there is Martin White. He's 83 years of age, formerly of Tullerone in Kilkenny, later joined the Fianna of Dublin. You know, he scored the winning point in the 1932 All-Ireland final. And I'm glad he's here to enjoy the double bill affair this afternoon. There's Mitch Jordan, beaten for that one by Colm Cassidy. It's still Wexford trying to steal a march on their opponents. Paul Codd delivering a wonderful shot, beating Barry Wheelahan to the draw that time. And Paul Codd has got 2 points. Young and old, mostly young in this particular picture from Wexford, are enjoying themselves this afternoon. And why not? Their side leads by a solitary point. 16 minutes gone then in the first half. It really is so far a very tight match, marking very, very tight. But that may loosen out as the players go through this match, get a little tired perhaps. Jerkush against John Troy again. This comes out here towards Johnny Dooley, leaving it there for brother Joe, and into the side netting. Joe is a very experienced campaigner, goes right back to the early 80s. Today operating at top of the left. It's Johnny Dooley right half forward, Billy Dooley right corner forward, and Joe Dooley left corner forward. Fitzhenry's puck out. Johnny Pilkington going for it. It's Pilkington against Fenlon this afternoon, and in the other clash in midfield it's Robert Hassey against Gary Hanafy. Michael Dignan trying to get forward there. Declan Root stopping him. Trying to switch it across here towards Michael. Mitch Jordan, nice turn, easily taken away from Colm Cassidy. Paul Codd, they're playing him time and again. Has he the beating of Barry Wheelahan? If he has, he didn't get his shot absolutely on target that time. And the young Barry Wheelahan needs a fresh stick. Well, Stephen Byrne has been producing some wonderful saves throughout the National League. but this is where it really matters. That's Larry O'Gorman back there, trying to get it well away from his goal area. Getting a bit of assistance from Ruth, but it's once again back there by John Troy. And the umpire's in no doubt. 3 wides for Offaly so far in the game. Both sides struggling to impose themselves completely on the other side. Not a great deal to choose between them. So a place in the Leinster final against Kilkenny at stake. That's Gary Hannafy. Back out it comes here towards Robert Hussey. Nicely out to Adrian Fennell, his midfield partner, and that should have been on target. It was a pretty good choice, a chance for him. That's 7 wides now in this match for Wexford, and that after just about 18.5 minutes play. Puck out dropped in to the 40, runs on, and Ger Cush there, strong as ever. Very commanding figure at number 3, down towards Paul Codd. Larry Murphy trying to skip it away from Hubert Rigney. Hubert next challenged by Paul Codd. Tom Dempsey's there as well, having come across the line. Martin Hannamy beside him for Offaly, and the shot has gone again to the left. Wexford's old failing, hitting impossible shots at times, and amassing a big tally of wides, and 8 so far is far too many. But they will at least take heart from the fact that they have created that number of chances against the Offaly backline. Now how about the Offaly forwards? Gary Hannafy trying to get them going once again. Joe Dooley right at the end of this alongside Colm Keogh, and the goalkeeper is required to come into action to help out the full back line. Good clearance by Damien Fitzhenry. Kevin Martin, the left half back over there for Offaly, supported by Brian Wheelahan. Knocked down there by Declan Ruth from Shamrocks in Wexford. There's a little argument, shall we say, with Brian Wheelahan involved after that ball was played away, but nothing too terribly serious. Incidentally, I've been told that during the past week the GAA called in some of the senior referees for championship action this year to have a meeting in Athlone, and they basically asked them to continue in football to get them to apply the rules as they exist, to punish persistent fouling, and also to punish people who move the ball after the awarding of a free or a sideline ball, and in general to be consistent. But that mostly applies, it has to be said, to football. Hurling they're perfectly happy with. Adrian Fennell will take this sideline ball. It's a very acute angle. That's tremendous skill. Adrian Fennell with the first point that he scored in this match, coming from a sideline, and as good a cut as you could hope to see. And Wexford lead by 2. And some switches on the Offaly full forward line, with Michael Duignan going in now towards top of the left. Joe Dooley's been brought out onto the left half forward position, and also Johnny Dooley and Billy Dooley switching momentarily. Will those switches work out? Here comes Martin Storey. Didn't hit it properly. Had a very good match, of course, against Offaly last year. That was one of those days when the Offaly defence conceded some soft goals, and that they're trying to make sure against doing this afternoon. Hubert Rigney's clearance picked up here by Eugene Furlong. Next it's Larry O'Gorman. This is Colm Cassidy, the hand pass inside here to the other wing back, who is Kevin Martin from Tullamore. Up to John Troy. Good ball in towards him, right in front of him, giving him the chance of making the catch. He was fouled, and it's going to be a free into Offaly. Well, it's the intelligent use of possession by the Offaly midfielders and half-backs in towards John Troy that could have a winning effect on this match. Troy wearing the 15, but of course he is playing at full forward this afternoon, and now showing up as a free taker. Former Offaly minor goalkeeper, remember. Nicely over the bar. John Troy with his first pointed free, so he narrows the gap to a solitary point. Well, in clashes between the county, which stretched back all the way to 1898, the score at the moment in Championship Fair is 15-9 in favour of Wexford. Wexford's Damien Fitzhenry bucking this one away to the right-hand side. Kevin Martin trying to keep it away from Rory McCarthy. Johnny Pilkington's there as well alongside Adrian Fenlon. It was out towards Joe Dooley. Robert Hassey. Down it goes to Tom Dempsey. In towards Larry Murphy. Try to get the ball in as early as possible to the inside forward line. Offaly standing firm. Kevin Martin with that clearance. Shawnee Flood beaten for this one. Nicely taken up by Johnny Dooley. Yes, right through the defence. Stopped by Damien Fitzhenry. Whipping it into the centre of the field. Gary Hannafy from Burr going back. Not a good ball. It comes to Declan Ruth instead for Wexford. Towards Paul Codd. And Codd doing well against his man so far. Good play inside towards Larry Murphy. Hubert Rigney did equally well. Barry Wheelahan. Only as far as Adrian Fenlon. Tom Dempsey again being called on to try and get some change out of Martin Hannamy. Hannamy fumbles, and that's the second 65 of this match. Two very experienced campaigners in action against one another. And Babs Keating, I think, will be less than pleased with some dithering in defence on occasions. Wexford, you feel, just generally speaking, having an edge so far, not just because they lead by a point. Creating more chances. Paul Codd dropping it in and dropping it to the left. Oh, it's a tall order, I know, with the breeze blowing against him to score from 65s, especially when he was quite near the sideline. Stephen Byrne pucking out. Not a very good puck out, he's hit it short. Paul Codd inside towards Michael Jordan, and the referee not giving an advantage to Michael Mitch Jordan. It's going to be a free instead. Not a particularly distinguished puck out by Stephen Byrne to set up the problems there for his defence as Barry Wheelahan moves back. I mentioned the goalkeepers club, Kilcormac Killahee, and they, being a particularly good producer of underage teams in Offaly. They have won 5 of the 6 last under-21 titles there, and 5 of the last 7 minor titles. They've got 3 in action here for Offaly. Now facing up to this free here, which Paul Codd is about to take. And that's a good one. 3 points for Paul Codd, 1 from play, 2 from frees, and Wexford extend their lead 6 points to 4. Just over 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Well, it's up and down the field, not the greatest of fluency in the game, but very, very competitive. And that's some fouling there of Billy Dooley. So it gives Offaly a very scoreable free here. Hardly the kind of free that somebody of the quality of John Troy would miss. But let's not put the kibosh on him. He puts it over. 2 frees taken by John Troy and 2 close-in points. Close-in frees that produced points in a close match, 6-5. Damien Fitzhenry about to pop this one out. And Offaly have had the breeze at their backs. Won't be too pleased with their first half performance. They'll have expected more scores than the few they've got so far, only 5. And that last attempt was by Johnny Dooley. Offaly have restructured their half-forward line as well. So now it reads Mark Hand, it reads Johnny Dooley, and it reads Joe Dooley, and some more news from the sideline from Kieran.
Sure, that's exactly the switch. It just happened a few moments ago. It took about 2 minutes to do it because Babs Keating was on the far side of the field, but the selectors finally got to him.
Okay, right then, Martin Hannamy racing out for this one here. Michael Dignan breaks it down, but that is enough to allow Larry O'Gorman nip in there. Nobody to stop him, nobody to get in a shoulder. Again, it's Paul Codd. In towards Tom Dempsey, who switched into top of the left momentarily. Larry Murphy comes out there, 2 players alongside him. Michael Mitch Jordan there. Jordan playing it back towards Martin Storey. Challenged by Wheelahan, challenged by the other Wheelahan, and he beats the 2 of them, he puts it over the bar. A second point for the Wexford team captain. First he beat Barry Wheelahan, then he beat Brian. And that's a very good piece of skill by Martin Storey, showing us that he's still one of the top forwards in the game, and Wexford leads 7-5. This was wonderful skill. Good support play as well by Mitch Jordan to set it up for Martin Storey, but he took on the responsibility. Stalemate on the far side, and that's going to be a free to Offaly. Adrian Fenlon arguing the toss there with the referee Don McSeevna. So Brian Whelan has come to take the free. He scored the very first point of this match from a free, from which Offaly took the lead. That after 3 minutes. Supported by the wind now. That's the 65-metre line, by the way. Can he put one between them? Dropping it nicely in and dropping it over the bar. Beautiful score. A well-taken free by Brian Wheelahan. So his 2 points absolutely invaluable in a tight first half. A smile on the face, satisfied with the job he's just done. So it's a 1-point game. Babs Keating behind the goal there. Damien Fitzhenry pucking out, 7 points to 6. That's well caught by Gary Hannafy. Hoping now to translate the goods kind of form he showed at club level into senior level. Robert Hassey here. Mark Hand, 2 new names. Back it comes to Larry O'Gorman. Cross it goes towards Rory McCarthy. Going on his left-hand side, and Rory McCarthy, as usual, steps in to score. His first one this afternoon. And this Wexford side, who've won the last 2 ties against Offaly, playing with confidence, and Rory McCarthy availing of the opportunity that came his way on his left-hand side, right over the bar. So once again, there are 2 between them. Wexford now hoping to hold on to their lead against the breeze. 5 minutes to go to half-time as Joe Dooley fires it in. And typical Joe Dooley, he always scores a couple of points in his match, and in this particular game, that is his first, and it's back to a 1-point difference. On any kind of loose ball that falls out to somebody like Joe Dooley, he'll get away from anybody. Getting away from Fenlon that time, target practice. Damien Fitzhenry's puck out. Mitch Jordan beaten by his man, Colm Cassidy. And Cassidy again, the victim of a bit of a wild pull that time, and the referee holds up the play. Another free to Offaly. And once again they bring Brian Wheelahan from Burr up to take this one. Again it's on the 65-metre line, opposite side of the field. Wind behind him, going away to the left this time. Oh, it's gone off the goal line, and Damien Fitzhenry gets away with it. Michael Duignan back again towards Johnny Dooley, and it's gone wide. Well, just for a horrible moment there, Damien Fitzhenry must have wondered whether he was going to suffer the kind of ill fortune that beggared the Offaly custodian last year, but it wasn't over the line. You'll remember last year that it was the turn of Offaly and their defence. David Hughes had his problems then, but this time Damien Fitzhenry got away with it, but it was very close. Eugene Furlong cross to the right-hand side towards Adrian Fenlon. Declan Ruth pulling on that one. Martin Storey whipping it into the corner. Nobody in there right now. Bit of switching and changing by the Wexford forwards. Nobody quite at top of the right. Should have been Tom Dempsey. Now it's Robert Hassey. Again down into the corner, and nobody waiting for it. Hubert Rigney. A long ball up towards the half-forward line, runs on to John Troy. Troy getting there ahead of Jerkush, and Troy has put it over the bar. That's a great point by John Troy. 3 in the match, the first to come from play, and the sides are level for the 4th time. Well, it really is a ding-dong struggle here. 8 points apiece. Once it came out to John Troy, he had the pace to get himself away from Cherkosh, who was powerless to get in a challenge. 2 frees and 1 point from play so far for John Troy. Fitzhenry's puck out. A game which has failed to produce any goals so far. Rory McCarthy holding on to it against Kevin Martin. Running into a number of challenges. The ball won back by Joe Dooley. Forward it goes towards Michael Duignan. Back there again comes Declan Ruth. Ruth on his debut in the Leinster Championship. Barry Whelan put under pressure and the referee says, hang on, there was a trip. A foul by Paul Codd, or by Tom Dempsey rather, who was switched into top of the left. So Dempsey top of the left, Paul Codd top of the right. Stephen Byrne to take this free for Offaly. Nicely down. Everybody contesting for it. Picked up by Declan Ruth. It's Jordan. In towards Tom Dempsey. It's Dempsey now against Barry Whelan. Dempsey's hand pass across here towards Martin Storey. Going for the score. Blocked down by Martin Hannamy. Hewart Rigney comes out next. The Offaly fullback and captain. Again is Martin Hannamy. Excellent play by Hannamy there. Up towards Johnny Dooley. Now playing in a changed position, and that's gone over the bar. And it's Offaly who take the lead. Playing with the wind. Johnny Dooley's first. And they lead by 9 points to 8. And a minute to go to half-time. Well, the lead has changed hands on 3 occasions. But no doubting Johnny Dooley's class there. Fitzhenry's puck out. Last minute of the first half. Guinness Leinster Hurling semi-final. Martin Storey looking for the equaliser. Oh, that's wonderful! What a match! Martin Storey's 3rd point. The game has loosened out. There's more fluency in the play. There are better chances being taken, and they're level once again now for the 5th time. Stephen Byrne's puck out. A most enjoyable first half. It's got better as the half has gone on. Mark Hand stopped there by Colm Keogh. The hand pass out to the wing, anticipating that there's going to be somebody there, such as Larry O'Gorman, to take possession. The shoulder, the final piece of action at the end of 35 minutes of ding-dong hurling up and down the field. And that last point by Martin Storey, the Wexford captain, his 3rd point of the first half. And of course John Troy 3 as well, but 2 of those coming from frees. Absolutely nothing to choose between the teams, because at half-time the score here reads Wexford 9 points, Offaly 9 points.
We had some problems early on, but we think we have sorted them out now.
Thank you very much.
OK, Kieran, thank you, Christy, as well. Yes, the second half just getting underway as you were at midfield, and Gary Hannafy playing this one in. Cherkosh making a steadying clearance way downfield over the head of Tom Dempsey. Larry Murphy's the player on the ground. Brian Whelan with the clearance down towards Joe Dempsey. One touch, just taking it away there from Declan Ruth. Inside towards John Troy. Troy getting it up into his hand. Not a good hand pass. Cherkosh had the chance to come in and make the clearance, but it wasn't a good clearance, and it's with Johnny Dooley, and that's gone over the bar. A 2nd point in this match for Johnny Dooley, so 1 in each half, and Offaly make the best possible start of the second half. So playing against the stiff breeze then, Johnny just taking his chance. Cherkosh had the opportunity to clear his lines, didn't do so, and it was Johnny who made them pay for it. Damien Fitzhenry happy with that let-off in the first half from the free from Brian Whelan, which could so easily have replicated one of the goals last year against Offaly. Kevin Martin played centre-half back that year. Gary Hannafy. Declan Ruth trying to keep Johnny Pilkington away from it. Joe Dooley blocking it down. Adrian Fenlon's in there, always in the thick of things. Tom Dempsey outside to Martin Storey. Storey, and he has put it wide. Ordinarily, you'd have expected the captain to get his 4th point there. It'll go down as a miss. And that is now 10 wides in all for Wexford. in the first half. Interesting to note that Wexford created 19 chances, Offaly created 16. There was 9 apiece at half-time, of course. Wexford had 9 wides, Offaly had 5. That is Colm Keogh. The other cornerback, Barry Wheelahan, in the Offaly colours. Barry's first year to start in the Leinster Championship. Colm Cassidy ready to take the sideline cut. The ground is fairly soft now over that particular part of Croke Park. Today, however, a lovely, fresh, breezy afternoon. Oh, that was missed completely. Larry O'Gorman up towards Tom Dempsey, having quite a tussle against Martin Hannamy, who's been excellent so far. Kevin Martin keeping that sweeping down along the near sideline. Colm Keogh challenged by Michael Dignan. Referee may end this. It's going to be a free in. Thought he might have thrown the ball in to end the stalemate, but it's going to be a free to Offaly. I think the decision being that Colm Keogh had more or less laid down on the ball. John Troy, the taker of the free. And it has gone just outside. John protests. It's gone wide. Wexford cheers everywhere and anywhere, greeting that miss by John Troy. Wexford's puck out, Damien Fitzhenry. Down towards Martin Storey, right down the centre. Trying to get away from Brian Wheelahan. The hand pass by Storey. Rory McCarthy having a bit of work to do. He was tripped by Kevin Martin. And Martin breaks his stick in the process. So coming out to take the free is going to be Paul Codd, scorer of 3 points in this match so far, one of 3 players on 3 points. Paul from famed Rathnewer in Wexford. On his left-hand side, Brian Wheelahan got a touch to it, and that's a very good decision. It is indeed a 65. Brian Wheelahan got up quickly that time, just deflected it outside, and the referee and umpire very vigilant. Well, it's a very sporting occasion here. Tense, you can be sure, but that's where Wheelahan just got the stick to it and directed it outside. Referee got it spot on. And the umpire, of course, as well, giving him 100% assistance. So Paul Codd driving this one between the posts. If at first you don't succeed, keep on trying. Paul has done so. He's now got 4 points in this game. And what a tight match it's turned out to be. Level at half-time, now level once again here. And that is the 6th time they've been all square. That's beautifully taken down there. That's Mark Hand. Quickly out there by Larry O'Gorman towards Rory McCarthy. Brian Wheelahan trying to establish himself more in this match. Up towards Michael Dignan, stopped by Colm Keogh, assisted by Ger Cush. Cush sweeping it into the inside forward line. Paul Codd trying to break it down for somebody coming through, but swallowed up quickly by the Offaly colour. Oh, great play by Hubert Rigney to take it away from Larry Murphy. Back out towards Brian Wheelahan again. Wheelahan marshalling his half-back line there. The loose ball coming out towards Michael Jordan. That's Barry Wheelahan from Burr picking it up. And once players get possession, they're surrounded almost instantly, and there is very little freedom in which to manoeuvre. So two sides giving it everything they've got, but a match which has so far failed to yield a goal, or too many goal chances, it has to be said. This is Colm Cassidy once again, the taker of the sideline cut. Towards Michael Dignan, well caught. The hand pass, oh, he's gifted that one there to Larry O'Gorman. Larry is so sharp. The hand pass, or the flick there by Tom Dempsey, goes straight to Kevin Martin. Towards Michael Dignan, again he catches it well. Now how will they use possession here? Colm Keogh dragging him, and it's going to be a free in. And another opportunity for John Troy to try and turn the screw on the Wexford backs. A couple of good catches taken there by Michael Duignan. And his sheer physical presence is certainly a source of great concern for the Wexford backline. John Troy to hit it, front of the goals, 30 metres out, no problems. 4 points for Troy. Glum faces on Hill 16 among the Wexford following. But the match far from won and lost just yet, only a point in it. Fitzhenry poised, breeze behind him. They wait down at the other end of the field. It's coming across this side. McCarthy against Kevin Martin. And it needs Johnny Pilkington or perhaps Martin Hannamy to come in and try and clear it away from the Wexford forwards. Missed by Larry O'Gorman. Colm Keogh perfectly positioned, switching it to top of the left towards Paul Codd. Barry Wheelahan breaks it out. Colm Cassidy's there as well. Mitch Jordan trying to challenge him. Cassidy, one of the youngsters. Oh, that's a poor ball. He's gifted it away to Larry O'Gorman. Back to Michael Jordan. And it's gone over the bar. Mitch Jordan's first point. Now they're a great deal happier. And why not? The sides are level again. 11 points for Wexford, 11 points for Offaly. A real ding-dong clash. Mitch Jordan, who in the past has struggled to really establish himself as a regular first 15 player, but today getting the chance. Likewise Declan Ruth for Wexford. Low ball inside towards Larry Murphy. Jordan again racing it after it, stopped by Barry Wheelahan, supported by Murphy. Here comes Larry Murphy. He was struggling to get through the defence. The Wexford following, feeling that they might have had a free in. The referee says play on, but now a complete stalemate. And while all that's happening, we got some more news from the sideline.
Yes, indeed, Michael Duignan has moved into midfield now for Offaly, and Gary Hannafy has gone to his old position, that's at full forward.
So changes made. The referee deciding to throw the ball in at the 20-metre line. Martin Storey there. Hubert Rigney going into challenge as well. Out by Martin Hannamy, out to Michael Duignan, mentioned just moments ago there from the sideline. Now operating in midfield in that switch which has seen Gary Hannafy with the white helmet go way into full forward. Well, throughout the match you can expect the mentors to continue to switch and to make changes just to try and outfox the opposition. All square. Brian Wheelahan, 2 points from frees so far, lobbing it in towards Gary Hannafy. Jerkush one-handed outside. It comes away towards Robert Hassey. Hassey just trying to control it, take it under total control and play it into the middle of the field. Batted back down by Brian Wheelahan. Johnny Pilkington's waiting for it. Johnny Pilkington down towards Gary Hannafy. Jerkush beaten. Troy in there. The other backs coming to Jerkush's aid. Shawnee Flood. Dashing play. Out he comes. Challenged. Gets by the challenge. Up towards Paul Codd, taking his man way out from the corner back position. Out around the half-forward line. Flood comes forward. In towards Martin Storey. Brian Wheelahan putting in a challenge. Storey hitting it and hitting it over the bar. Martin Storey's got 4 points in the game. Again performing the heroics of 97. But this time in the championship of 98. And Wexford have stolen in front after some very good play along that left-hand side involving Shawnee Flood and a couple of others, but Martin Storey, the captain, takes major credit. Well, it's opening up bit by bit, was beginning to do so before half-time. Mark Hand down into the full forward position. Again, Jerkush coming out first time. Strong play by Cush against three Offaly forwards. Out to Mark Hand. Back towards Michael Duignan, going this way and that. It's Declan Ruth who gets out ahead of Joe Dooley to Adrian Fenlon, low up towards Tom Dempsey. Dempsey back on his man there, who's Martin Hannamy. Switched inside towards Paul Codd. Larry Murphy racing as well. Hubert Rigney has it for Offaly. Steady as you like, Hubert. Blocked down by Larry Murphy. Out towards Kevin Martin. Real ding-dong battle. Declan Ruth standing under it, drop hitting it forward. Johnny Pilkington in towards the full forward line, in towards Gary Hannafy. Again, It's a back coming out with it. Eugene Furlong without the stick, kicking it to Declan Ruth. Long ball, but over the sideline, never really giving his forwards much of a chance. And we've got some sideline news of a change by one of the teams, by Offaly, I think.
Yes, indeed, your Killian Farrell from Edenderry has just come on, and he'll replace Mark Hand, number 11 on the Offaly team.
So Killian, number 23, coming in, and it's Hand, who started on the 40, who's made way. On the 40 right now, it's Johnny Dooley. Mark Hand goes off. Killian Farrell has started at right half forward, being marked by Shawnee Flood. Adrian Fenlon racing for this one, beaten by the sheer tenacity of Johnny Pilkington. Now John Troy leaving it there for Johnny Dooley. Dooley on the 40. That's handed away there by Eugene Furlong. He couldn't quite take it, but the other man has possession, Colm Keogh. Declan Ruth playing a stormer at right half back. But again, he's put it out over the sideline, but defending with great assurance. So Wexford with the slightest possible advantage. Martin Hannamy waiting. Well, in the last couple of years, it's been Offaly who won in '94, Offaly again in '95 by 214 to 110. But the last few years, it's been Wexford and Wexford again. So they go for 3 in a row and have a 1-point lead right now. Johnny Pilkington can't quite take it up. Instead, it's Martin Storey back around midfield. Joe Dooley. This is Kevin Martin taking it away from Rory McCarthy, linking up with Brian Wheelahan in towards Gary Hannafy. They look for the first goal of the match here, but a couple of players on Gary Hannafy there. And in the end, goalkeeper Damien Fitzhenry nurses it harmlessly over the end line. What an atmosphere in Croke Park right now. I've noticed that Offaly are thinking about another change, and indeed there he is, the number 22, John Ryan, has just been introduced into the Offaly team. Clearly Babs Keating on the selectors feel there is further need for change. So in the last couple of minutes they've brought on Killian Farrell, number 23, and John Ryan, number 22, and Gary Hannafy is the one who's making way. Hannafy started at midfield, finished at full forward, and now he ends his afternoon in the dugout. Fitzhenry pucking out for Wexford. No hint of panic among the Wexford selectors just yet. That's a wonderful shot by Paul Codd. 5 points for Paul Codd. The others can look on and admire that wonderful stroke by the man in the white helmet, Paul Codd, and it's 13 points to 11. Robert Hassey, one of those who can enjoy himself down there right now, as Wexford, playing with the wind, look for the vital scores to take them through to another Leinster final against Kilkenny. But Offaly have plenty of time. They have 20 minutes to go. Going through right now, it's that racing figure of Martin Storey. There was a little knock on the hand, and he certainly felt it. And the referee is calling across Johnny Pilkington for that chop down on Martin Storey. Well, Storey was surely in for a score that time. So a couple of Offaly players have been booked. Hubert Rigney in the first half, and now Johnny Pilkington in the second. Still Martin Storey in need of some attention. A quick bit of sympathy there from Johnny to him. Nothing particularly nasty, but Storey was racing, and in the end, he really felt that. Well, I think I'll amend that, because it did look nasty in the replay, there's no doubt about that. But it's not typical of Johnny Pilkington. Now, Codd has got 3 points from 6 frees so far. This is the latest. Will it be 4 from 7? It will. 4 points out of 6 in all for Paul Codd. Wexford storming into a 3-point lead, but all of that in a match which hasn't got a goal so far. That's one-handed by Larry O'Gorman. Michael Duignan trying to pick it up, stopped. That's Rory McCarthy. Not a good ball forward, easy one for Cassidy to come on to. Colm Cassidy hand passing it, but he was being held back. Free to Offaly. Brian Whelan's going to take this one. He's just inside his own 65-metre line. Dropped right in there. Chasing after it is John Ryan. John the hurler come footballer, of course. Ger Cush had it, and Cush goes down injured. He'd won himself a free out. He may just have made contact with a stick as he was heading out of that little group of players. Rory Kinsella, the team boss, urging on his team. Cush is all right, and that was where he was going out, and yes, he just felt contact, or made contact with a stick as he was heading out to make his clearance. He's okay. Damien Fitzhenry will take the free. Brian Whelan under it, misses it completely. Eugene Furlong was coming out to try and make the clearance. There's another foul. This time it's Hubert Wigney. And this time it's going to be another free in, which is going to be taken by Paul Codd. This will be his 8th free. Can he get his 5th point? He's got 5 points from frees, and a couple more also from play. A real starring role being played by Paul Codd. And Codd has got 7 points in all now out of that Wexford tally of 15. It's Wexford who lead by 4 points. Coming to something of a critical stage in the match now. Just over midway through the second half. Offaly trying to come back. Joe Dooley playing that ball in, which is once again won by Colm Keogh. Out to Rory McCarthy. Dashing away here and trying to take it forward is Paul Codd, but the linesman on the far side was very quick to see that the player in question had gone out over the sideline. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's going to be a sideline ball. Well, Offaly haven't scored from play now since the first minute, and John Troy's free in the 7th minute. Well, some flash news, as you saw there, from matches elsewhere this afternoon, on this very busy afternoon for sport, not just on RTE1, but on Network 2 as well. Colm Cassidy to take the sideline cut. Ger Oakley has just come in for Offaly, so now they've used all 3 possible subs. And I'm not sure, is it going to be Joe Dooley who's going off? Shaping up that he will be. So Joe is off. We'll just have a quick look to see who's come on in just a moment as play continues. Wexford are the happier. They're sticking with their starting 15. Offaly making the changes. That's stopped there by Declan Ruth. It flies up into the corner towards Michael Jordan. Larry Murphy comes out for it. Hubert Rigney there. Well, we think, in fact, it may be Paddy Mulher who has just come into the team, rather than Ger Oakley. It may well be the number 19, Paddy Mulher from St Rynagh's. He's the player who played, of course, in the last round of the championship for Offaly against Meath. That may well be the case. We'll confirm it in just a moment. Ball again flying into the forwards, but just as it does each time, Wexford have summoned the strength of character and forcefulness in defence. That time Eugene Furlong denying Offaly, but Offaly come back again. Hubert Rigney. Martin Hannemy's discarded the red helmet. Down it goes towards the forwards. Again, they try to gain something of an advantage, but it's the spirit and determination of the Wexford team right now, which has given us so much to admire. Larry Murphy, challenged by Kevin Martin, won back there brilliantly by Brian Whelan. That's nicely taken there by Adrian Fenlon. Fenlon drives it forward and tries to drive Offaly back. Billy Byrne has come in for Wexford. And you never know, Billy's the kind of player who could supply an all-important goal for them. And that, I'm sure, is going to be the tactic. It's looking like Tom Dempsey will make way. Tom didn't score this afternoon, so he's off for the remaining 13 minutes of this match. Nicely downfield. Again, Offaly tried to generate something among their forwards. But time and again, they're running into a stone wall Wexford defence. So many changes have been made by Offaly up front, and now Wexford following suit, withdrawing Tom Dempsey. Both sets of supporters trying to ensure that their championship season lasts into the month of July. Nicely cut up by Declan Ruth. So confirmation of the Wexford change just made moments ago. This ball comes out towards Colm Cassidy. Eugene Furlong under it, beats 3 Offaly players to it, picks out a man in space. Very good play. That's Hassie dropping it in, but he's dropped it to the left. 11 wides now by Wexford, 7 by Offaly. So some news from elsewhere in the country this afternoon, and indeed across Channel, where London are playing. Meanwhile, back at Croke Park, it's Offaly who try to set up something for their scoring forwards. Johnny Dooley's coming through, and that's a great deal better. A 3rd point for Johnny Dooley. They've been in the wilderness now for some time in this match, but again, just 3 between them, and 1 goal for Offaly would tie up this game. This is how their latest score from play came, and it came from the marvellously talented Johnny Dooley. Podge Mulher there, one of the selectors. His nephew Paddy is the player who's just been brought in recently. Coming forward again here. That was Martin's story, but the referee's whistle had sounded. It's going to be a free-in instead. The foul, I think, was by Kevin Martin. No doubt about the decision of the referee. Just over 10 minutes to go. And a chance now for Paul Codd and Wexford to put even more distance between themselves and the men of Offaly. Well, waiting for the sliotar to be returned. In fact, there are 2 of them out of the field right now. It's a free to Wexford. It'll be Paul Codd inevitably to take it. In all, his tally is 7. Make that now 8 points this afternoon. That's a wonderful contribution here in this match here. And we'll remind you that the full game between Leitrim and Galway is tonight at 10 minutes past 10. By then, Wexford will be wondering whether they're celebrating another Leinster final placing against their great old rivals from Kilkenny. Offaly not finished yet. They haven't played well, but they're still in there. Only 4 points between the teams. Brian Wheelahan. Now, will he go for a score here? He's between the 65 and 45 metre lines. He lobs it in, and he's put it over the bar. 3 points from frees for Brian Wheelahan. So just that goal again between the teams. You just think back to the free taken by Brian Wheelahan that nearly deceived Damien Fitzhenry. Had that gone in, would this match have turned around? Kevin Martin seemed to have pushed his man that time, who was Robert Hassie. Referee says play on. Martin has it, chased by Hassie. Right across field. Over there towards Billy Dooley. Billy with 1 point in the match to date. Shawnee Flood trying to take that ball further away from the Wexford goal area. Eugene Furlong, sensible ball forward to Michael Jordan. Jordan is pursued there by Killian Farrell. Farrell with it. Really bottled in there, so he needs Barry Wheelahan to come into his assistance. And the referee, I think, is going to throw it in. Wheelahan against Codd. Sideline. Rory Kinsella still running all around the field here, just to try to keep his Wexford players on their toes. Paul Codd's gone back in towards top of the left, where he's marked once again by Barry Wheelahan. Adrian Fennell will take the sideline. There were questions about his fitness going into this match because of injury, but he's acquitted himself pretty well. Nicely in towards Martin Storey. Huge leap in the air by Brian Whelan, didn't take it down. Instead, here's a chance for Wexford, and they look for something, and instead they watch Hubert Rigney take it out for Offaly. He leaves it behind there. Johnny Pilkington with the hand pass outside. Nicely downfield, Jerkosh racing for it. Trying to pick that ball up was Larry O'Gorman. Pressure applied by the Offaly forwards. They need possession. This is outfield here. John Ryan, nicely in, great play. Wonderful defensive work by Colm Keogh. He did really well to deny Offaly. That's one of the best pieces of defence we've seen in this match so far, at a stage when Offaly were trying to get into a scoring situation. On to Johnny Pilkington again. Huge one down, and it's dropped. And the goalkeeper comes out quickly to avert a 65. It would have been a 65, but for the intervention of Damien Fitzhenry. What a finish, one-handed forward by Martin Storey, back by Martin Hannamy. Again, it's Colm Keogh. What a lovely player this man is. Oh, and even as I say it, he makes a mistake. He's given it to Johnny Dooley. Back to John Troy. Troy's shot, and he's put it over the bar. 5 points by John Troy. 2 points between the teams. Well, just as I was talking about that wonderful piece of defensive play, we had just moments ago here this wonderful piece of play by Colm Keogh, but then his error subsequently set up John Troy for a point that has taken the teams within 2 points of one another. What a finish. This time it's Wexford who tried to turn the screw. Billy Byrne getting it outside towards Hassey. Instead it's Martin Hannamy. Hannamy downfield, getting assistance there from Hubert Rigney. Great finish to the game. Colm Keogh trying to make amends. Here's John Ryan. Full back with the footballers, full forward with the hurlers. John Troy trying to contain it. Shawnee Flood trying to take it away from him. It's back with Johnny Dooley. And you know, you never have an Offaly team beaten. That's gone high, and that's gone over the bar by Paddy Mulhare. Mulhare has put his side within a point of Wexford. 2 wonderful finishes at Croke Park this afternoon. The hand pass was out to Mulhare. The number 19 puts it over the bar. His first point. Fitzhenry is plucking this one out. Just over 4 minutes left. Oh, it's quite a tie. Again, it's Offaly who come downfield, looking for something. That was played into space by Killian Farrell. Again, they try to go for it. Billy Dooley putting his head down. Another great finish by Offaly. Stopped this time by Fitzhenry. Wow, it's wonderful stuff. A great clearance to Kevin Martin. Taken instead by Brian Wheelahan. Defiant at centre-half back. It may have been tight for long, long stretches. Now it's loosened out quite considerably. Killian Farrell, I think, was fouled after he played that ball away. But the last save here was by Damien Fitzhenry from who else? His old pal from last year, Billy Dooley. It's 16 points against 15. Again, pressure on the Offaly backs. Michael Dignan's back there. Oh, he took it up well, Brian Wheelahan did. Forward by Hassey. Back once again. That's Paul Codd striking it over the bar. A wonderful display by Paul Codd. The score of 9 points. A tremendous display from frees from play, and he's made it 17-15. About 3 minutes remaining. Back again, it's Paddy Mulhare. That's Larry O'Gorman. Adrian Fenlon swinging on it instinctively, up towards Paul Codd. Going down is Barry Wheelahan, up at his feet straight away. Solid defensive play by Offaly, but not getting it clear too effectively. It's come back to Hassey. Hubert Rigney under it again. Out comes that wonderful young goalkeeper, Stephen Byrne. That's a great clearance under pressure. So now Offaly try and close the gap again. Will they be content if they get into scoring situations to go for a point? Will they look for a possible match-winning goal? They have the free. Rory McCarthy goes back towards his defence. Well, there may be another change here, and a sub, I think, coming in for Offaly, for Wexford rather, because Offaly have their full quota at this stage. The free is taken by Brian Wheelahan, contained inside there. Huge problems with the defence, and it's gone for a 65. And the injured player going off there is Mitch Jordan, and it's James Purcell, who was thought that he might be in the starting lineup but didn't quite make it, and he is number 20. So disappointment for Mitch Jordan, forced out of the match in the last couple of seconds. Brian Wheelahan has the 65. We're inside the last minute. He drops it in. They go for glory and get a goal here. They do! Offaly have come again! Celebration time for the Offaly team. Johnny Dooley. Brian Wheelahan lobbed it in. Is this the match winner? What a shot here. Down it came, and it was forced in by Johnny Dooley. A goal and 3 points for Johnny, and Offaly have a 1 point lead, 115 to 17 points. There's still time to play. What a turnabout. But we always said there was only a goal between them. Now Offaly have got that first goal. John Troy hits it in, but he's hit it wide. That could be a costly wide yet. It's now down to the referee. The match is almost in to injury time. Babs Keating's Offaly are just edging it against Rory Kinsela's Wexford, and the player down in need of the attention is once again Billy Dooley. And the referee may say to him, if you need attention, off to the sidelines, because that was another one of the directives given to the referees during the week. In injury time, Wexford having another chance. They trail by a point. In points it's 18 to 17. Michael Dignan back there. Everybody back now to lend help and assistance. Johnny Pilkington up towards John Troy, laying it off here beautifully. Oh, this is wonderful skill here taken by Podge Mulhare. Mulhare got a point earlier on. This time he leaves it behind. Well, does either side deserve to lose? That's all very well and fine, but this is the championship and there is absolutely no sympathy. It's Kevin Martin is down, injured. Watches everywhere being consulted. We're now in the 2nd minute of injury time. Again, we remind you about tonight's match, but while you consider that, consider the last few seconds of this. Wonderful entertainment. Brian Wheelahan hitting it. Offaly once again coming back but this time it's Declan Ruth who makes a fine catch. And it's all over, and it's Offaly who win. And Offaly are through to the Leinster final. The Leinster champions of 1996 and 1997 are out of the All-Ireland series. Babs Keating's wonderful side from Offaly have gone through. Wexford have been beaten. It'll be Offaly versus Kilkenny, and Johnny Dooley's all-important goal towards the very end of the match, the critical score. He finishes with a goal and 3 points. Wonderful entertainment overall for both sides. Two teams who gave everything that they had in a spirited contest. Gradually it opened up and became better and better, and always there was the chance that Offaly might get that vital goal. They did. They won by a point. Offaly won 15, Wexford 17 points. And Kieran is down with Babs Keating.
A very delighted Babs Keating. Babs, an incredible game and a remarkable comeback.
It was a game I thought we had lost right up to the 9 minutes, Kieran. I couldn't believe it, but I was disappointed with lads played. I thought we trained better.